You know how they say that home is where the heart is? I gotta admit. And I got a pretty good thing going.
Life is pretty good these days in Atlanta. I got a hot wife, beautiful kids, I have a cat, I have a camera, I have a career. I can't complain.
But there was a point in our marriage that we honestly didn't know if we were gonna make it. But by God's grace, we made it through. We're more in love and we're stronger than ever.
But for the first time in 8 years, we're going back to where it almost fell apart.
LA, if you're watching, I don't want no problems, but best tacos in the world. Best tacos in America, let's say that. This is Al Pastor tacos, the best. I just randomly told my wife that she has pretty cheekbones. When I say that, what's your immediate response?
Thank you.
Smile, do something cute. Immediate impression, was that impressive?
Yes. Yes, Gerald.
Good job. This is our new social media personality. Say something say something that's entertaining to people.
Hi. I don't know.
Wasn't that? So she'll never have to work again.
That's the goal. Make it happen.
But you gotta say more words than that. So this is kind of cool. This is my first time in Uniqlo, the store. Like I see it like all the time, literally all the time. But I've never actually been in there before. What y'all think? Should I wear this? No? So if I'm being honest, vlogging yesterday, it did not go as smoothly as I thought that it was gonna go. Partly because, and I'm not even gonna say partly, mainly because I was with my wife the whole time. And I do wonderfully, like when I'm by myself and I'm just out and I'm doing my own thing. I feel a different type of pressure when I'm there with my wife and she's like, okay, I get it, but for real, come on, it's time to go. And then it's like, okay, that take was good enough, I guess, I hope so, but let's go on with the day. So to be very honest, I think that today will be a little bit better because she's going out, she's having some coffee with some friends, and I'm going out, and I'm going to San Diego, and I'll take y'all with me. Hopefully this goes better. I think there's a difference between a vibey hotel and kind of creepy. I don't really know which one this falls into, but here we are. I mean, really. You know what I mean? Like, really. Get it, vibes, but, you know. Instead of walking around saying, hey guys, follow me around today as I go to San Diego and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Instead of doing that, what I'm actually gonna start doing, maybe? No, it's not gonna work. What I'm actually gonna start doing is I'm gonna be a little bit more honest about like who I am and the stories that I wanna tell and how I've gotten to this point in my life where I feel free about talking about some of the things that made me who I am. Is that gonna be an interesting vlog? I don't know. Hopefully it gives us a chance to get to know each other beyond the podcast.
No matter what I say in these next couple of minutes, San Diego is still one of the most beautiful cities, definitely in the country, maybe in the world. Man, it's absolutely beautiful to live here, which is why the rest of this story gets a little bit complicated, because it is so beautiful, but you still, we'll get there.
San Diego, though it's a beautiful city, for me, holds a lot of, I guess, pain, a lot of anxiousness, a lot of trials for me. So going back for something as beautiful as one of my friends getting married, it still was a very anxious and very, that city represented one of the hardest times of my life.
I grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, to humble beginnings, to say the least. It's Fort Worth, it's Texas. Houston is the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America now, I guess. That's the only time that you really see water. Fort Worth, Dallas, it's just flat, man. You don't see mountains, you definitely don't see oceans. All I really wanted to do in my life was, I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to have a strong family. I wanted to serve God, and I wanted to write music, and I wanted to make $80,000. I was always a smart kid, but the problem was I was always a smart kid with full of potential. So it didn't take a lot of energy and effort for me to get the same results of people who were less intelligent and who applied themselves more. In elementary school, I went from gifted and talented. That was in 5th grade. 6th grade, I got kicked out of school because I was always so sarcastic, and I thought that I was funny. Other people thought I was funny. Administration did not. It was like 6 infractions to get kicked out of school and go to alternative school, like with the drug dealers and the gangbangers and stuff like that. I had 12 before they finally kicked me out, and they were like, okay, that's enough, you gotta get after it. So I spent my 6th grade year in alternative school, and in that time, I learned a lot about humanity. So here I was, this Christian kid who really didn't do too much, who was like naturally smart and gifted and all of that stuff. Here I am sitting next to like kids who like stabbed people and who was selling drugs in elementary school. But you would think that we didn't belong in the same room, but very early on, life taught me, life doesn't put you in the position of your potential, life puts you in the position of your choices. And I kept making the wrong choice over and over and over and over and over again, even though to me, they weren't that big of a deal. It's funny how all the little stuff adds up and becomes big stuff. So we make it through that. We go through middle school. I'm doing great. Go through high school. I discover music, or maybe music finds me. Maybe that's the better story. I get taught classical and gospel music by, man, one of the best people that I possibly could. That's Miss Jewel Kelly. Same person who, for the lack of a better word, taught Kirk Franklin. So it's that DNA of music that's in me. I go to college, go to Jarvis Christian University, HBCU, have a wonderful time there, pledge, A5 Who You at ICE, and discover the love of my life there, at that time, Mrs. Danielle Carpenter. So remember, all I really wanted to do in life was have a family, serve God, make music, and make $80,000. So I graduate, I go on with my life how most people in Texas do. I go get a job, I go get an apartment, and like, I'm fine, I'm good. She goes to the Navy, and we decide that we cannot live without each other. So I asked her to be my wife. We got married July 2010, and we lived together 1 month in August in Texas in my apartment. And then we moved and packed up the U-Haul, took our 1 month marriage, drove San Diego.
Last day in Texas. Loved it, but on to new things.
We're off.
We're off.
So when we moved to San Diego, it was a good time. We were young, newlyweds, in a great city. No kids to worry about at the time. So, you know, our money was our money and our time was our time outside of the Navy, and our obligations, our jobs. So San Diego was a great, beautiful city to be newlyweds in.
So a couple of months in, something really cool happens. My wife is in the Navy. She needs to go get some things for her uniform. We say, let's go check out this church. We absolutely love it. It's not anything that we're used to, but we see this video and this woman is talking about how she was on the streets, and then these women came and ministered to her and brought her into a home, and they changed, and God saved her life, and her life was changed and stuff like that. And me and my wife, we were looking at each other like, man, where in the world are we? And it ended up being the church that we served at for the next 8 years. And it gave me a level of exposure that I never thought that I would have with worship and with choirs and singing in conventions and helping organize conventions and 20,000 people at all in one place at one time. Thanks to this church and this ministry, that was something that I had never experienced, and that I don't know if I ever would have had that opportunity. But it wasn't all good times. So keep in mind, this is happening really, really fast. And me and my wife, we're only married a couple of months while this is happening. A couple of years go by and we have our first kid. So this back here, that was where our first daughter was born, right over there in that apartment. In our infinite wisdom, I'm thinking that, okay, well, if she's at home with the baby and I go off and I do the church and the ministry stuff, then we'd be covering both grounds. That may have been the single biggest mistake that we could have made as a couple.
Being newlyweds was a difficult time. I always say this all the time. It's different from boyfriend and girlfriend to husband and wife. You don't think it's going to be different, but it is, because you have different expectations from your boyfriend than you do of your husband. So that change happened, and just learning those things, and then learning about myself as well. Eventually having Savannah and then Aaliyah and Amaya, trying to figure out our schedules and how to balance things in the trial and error of that was difficult. At one point, we were one stays home, one goes to church, somebody takes the kids, somebody stays back or goes wherever, and all that did was separate us even more.
When you're having big life changes like that and the babies are coming in there, and my wife's going through postpartum depression, we didn't have a name for it at the time. She's going through all this stuff, and we're at another state, and we don't have family. And my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, they came in to help, but they're coming in to help get settled in, and then they got to go, and then we got to get back to real world. When those big transitions happen, the worst thing that we could have done was separate. I either should have been like, hey, I'm pulling back, I'm staying at the house with the wife, or hey, let's pack up and let's all go together. Now, one thing I will say that I did is that when in rehearsals and stuff like that, I would take Savannah, and she was my little plus one everywhere I went to. There's so many pictures in rehearsals where she's hanging onto my leg or she's in the corner while we're teaching parts or doing something like that. Me and my wife, we were going in two separate ways at two separate times. And we're living two separate lives. We're very new in marriage. We're very new in ministry. It's stupid expensive out here, oh my God. And we're trying to figure all these things out. What we didn't notice is that as far as what I was doing, it was going like this. But our marriage and our relationship was going like this.
We're hardly talking to each other, just not communicating well, being extra sensitive with each other, taking things personally when we didn't have to. And there was resentment there over some other issues. But we did try counseling with the church. That didn't really work out. We tried outside counseling. That was way worse. Just terrible advice. I don't even want to go into it, but it was not good.
And the funny part about all of this is that while all of this is going on, seemingly, I'm doing pretty well in the ministry aspect of it, but my marriage is getting weaker and weaker, and I'm missing my home more and more, and we're starting to have more kids. We have Aaliyah and Amaya. And man, it was just, it was a tough time. And we didn't have the support that we needed. We didn't even know what type of support that we needed, to be very, very honest with you. Because what most people were saying was that, oh yeah, you're just kind of going through that spot in marriage where it gets kind of rough. Looking back on it, that was true, but I think we needed more than that, and we just didn't have it. Fast forward, Danielle's transitioning from the Navy, and now we have to decide, are we gonna live in San Diego for real? Or what are we gonna do? The kids are starting to go to school now, and we're looking around, and every time that they're in a classroom or they're in a setting, no, they're the only black kids. Is that the situation that we wanna raise a family in? And the answer was no. I was talking to everybody and I was telling them earlier today, oh, I think that's us. Hold that thought, our call just came. This was a place where every Sunday on this stage used to lead worship, and those screens wasn't there. This was it. Every Sunday we'd come and we wake up very, very early and we do our thing, and this was it. So, yeah. Look, children. There. Y'all see her? I can't remember which one is supposed to be which.
Well, that's Savannah. That's Aaliyah. That's Amaya. I repainted Savannah from the picture that we had with her when we took her out to lunch one day.
Oh, wow. Hey, Marina,
okay?
what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about Irie.
Wow, this is awkward.
We're talking about going down to 3rd Street in Chula Vista.
Real quick, let me tell you a funny story about Marina. So, did I hate you or did you hate me at first? No, I hated you at first.
I never hated you.
Yes,
So I'm surprised to even hear this right now.
Yeah, no, I hated you because.
Honestly, it's usually like that.
So when we met you,
She's an alpha.
Yeah. And men usually don't like that.
Oh yeah, you didn't like Marina.
no,
You like Marina.
yeah,
Yes.
A lot of men feel threatened by her.
Yeah. A lot
And-
of men don't like me.
and
My cousin and her husband got divorced because he didn't like me.
this is getting a layer too deep for the.
Because she loved me so much, and he was threatened by me, I guess.
But I think she was just so straightforward. It was just like I don't know, maybe that's what it was. Here's a funny story. One day we were in the worship, we were getting ready to go sing, and you came in there and you were all Marina running everything, and you told us, yeah, people like y'all don't stay. I was like, oh.
I can't believe I said that.
You said that, and you were right.
I guess I'm talking about myself, too.
Hurry up! So terrified. Woo! Woo!
From San Diego to now, I would say it's a complete 180. We're able to purchase a home. Our children are thriving, even though they were always doing well in San Diego, but the exampleship that they see around them of culture, of their culture, and even other cultures doing well, I think serves them well. We are closer to family. We see family more. Our children are close with their family. Our marriage is stronger. We communicate a lot better. Even though I don't think San Diego would have ruined our marriage, I do think that we probably would have gone through a longer trial just because of the other types of pressures and issues we were having financially and, job-wise, things like that. But here, we are both doing well professionally, financially. Our lives have definitely grown.
Do you think we like each other more now?
I don't know if we like each other more, but I think we,
It's gonna be terrible.
When we left Texas and moved to California, it was one of the saddest days of my life. I felt like I was leaving my home. When we left California and we moved to Georgia, it was one of the saddest days of my life. I felt like I was leaving my home. But it turns out that on both of those moves, I wasn't leaving my home, I was leaving my location. Because wherever my wife and my girls and my cat go, that's our location, but our family is our home. You know what? I bet that's why they say
Home is where the heart
where
is.
the heart